is Matthew Stafford's injury worse than we thought? Are the Rams in deep, deep trouble before the season even starts?
Oh, no. That's so to put some conjecture there, Sean McVay today basically said that, well, he didn't really say. That's the problem. He avoided any questions regarding Sean McVay and spoke about how lucky they are to have Jimmy Garoppolo. And now the Rams potentially are we going to see, Matthew Stafford even make it to week 1? Are they going to place him on IR after the 53 cut down? I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah,
welcome daily NFL clickbait here on YouTube, where we're going to discuss all the major news and rumors, starting, like we said, Matthew Stafford. Here's my co-host, Chase, and my name is Mike. Boom.
How's it going, guys? So Matthew Stafford's injury might be worse than we thought. Like Mike alluded to at the beginning, Sean McVay completely avoiding anything to do with Matthew Stafford and his injury, just basically saying, I'm happy we have Jimmy G. We're lucky to have Jimmy G. For me, that's not good news. If I'm a Rams fan, I'm freaking out right now. Matthew Stafford's injury is way worse than they're letting on right now. And all the talk about he'll be ready for week 1 or he'll practice next week, all that's been moved and pushed and continued. And now it's getting really bad in La La Land.
Yeah, and to kind of just put, like you said, Davante Adams just signed. He's at the end of his career. They gave him a pretty decent contract to kind of come in and try to compete for that NFC West title. I think that is something that we should all think about. Davante Adams left the Raiders to be traded to the Jets. The Jets release him. He signs with the Rams, and now potentially will have Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback. And I know he has said that they are good buds and this and that, but let's be honest, Jimmy Garoppolo is not a starting caliber quarterback anymore. He is a quarterback who, in the pinch, can win you games, but if you're relying on him to take you and potentially have you win, I don't know how long Stafford's going to be out, 4 to 8 games, that's a concern. I mean, there's even talk about Stetson Bennett coming in looking really good in camp. How long is the leash for Jimmy Garoppolo if he has to start week 1 and he's losing games because, Jimmy Garoppolo throws that interception every game? That's kind of like WTF. Now, can Jimmy Garoppolo, with Sean McVay, kind of reignite how he looked early in San Francisco? Can he come in, run the offense, be a veteran presence? We'll see. But for now, all we can go off of is how he looked with the Raiders, and he looked god-awful.
Yeah, so what's funny is Davante Adams wanted to get out of the Raiders, right? To get away from Jimmy G. And now he's with the Rams, and guess who his quarterback week 1 might be? Jimmy G. Yeah, that's pretty ironic. That's pretty funny. But back to your point about Jimmy G, he's basically a game manager. I mean, you basically have to build, the Rams have built a team for Matthew Stafford. They have not built a team for Jimmy G. So Jimmy G is their quarterback for 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know if the Rams are even going to be fighting for a playoff spot by then. The Rams could literally be 2 wins, 3 wins. They could start the tank for Arch by November, December. I mean, it's not looking
so here's
good,
the thing.
man.
The NFC West is going to be very competitive this year. I think literally all 4 teams could be the NFC winner, NFC West winner. Not NFC. That's a whole different story. You might have two teams in the NFC West who make the playoffs. We'll see. Each team has spent money at their quarterback position. The Rams with Stafford. Kyler Murray has had a big contract. He's like $45 million AP wide for the past few years. I think his big cap hits are starting to come. Sam Darnold just got a pretty sizable contract. And, of course, Brock Purdy just got his $54 million AP wide. It's like 8 or 9 million cap hit this year. But regardless, all these teams have put money into the position. They're ready to compete. The Rams, without Stafford, fall to the worst team in that division. I mean, regardless of talent. And on Puka, Davante Adams, Kyren, if you want to talk fantasy, which we're not going to at this moment, but you would start to fade those guys, right? You're really relying on running the ball, playing good defense, which could possibly happen. But
I'll tell you right now, I would take whoever the Rams kicker is. That's about it. Because they're going to be kicking a lot of field goals. That's about it.
And another thing is just going back to Matthew Stafford specifically. He's getting old, and he's had these back issues before. What are our expectations like moving forward? Even if he gets healthy, he's going to be kind of rusty going into week 1. If he's going to miss entirely, I don't know. Is he going to miss the rest of preseason? I mean, he doesn't play, but like training camp. Is he going to be out of practice until close to week 1? How does he look? Like it may be a team that gets hot later in the year if he's healthy, if he's rolling. But as of right now, I'm very, very much concerned. I think stock down for the Rams, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And I'm not trying to hate on the Rams. I think it's just a place that I'm concerned with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very, very concerned. I was actually on record in one of our shorts on our YouTube channel. That's what it is, a YouTube channel, saying that I wasn't concerned, and this happens all the time, but I mean, Matthew Stafford is not healthy right now. I mean, the talk out of the Rams right now is way different than it was, say, 3 weeks ago. And I'm even not a Rams fan, I'm concerned right now for Matthew Stafford and for the Rams and for what they could do this year. I mean, Matthew Stafford's going to make that whole team go, and without Matthew Stafford, that team is not a contender.
So just moving forward from this, because I don't know what more to say regarding Matthew Stafford, but looking at other stock down scenarios, I definitely think Caleb Williams is a concern. And I don't want to overstate because this is training camp. There is some interceptions that you kind of want to push the boundaries in camp. But from all reports and from the video footages that we've posted here on NFL Clickbait Daily, he's looked pretty bad. He had a scrimmage the other day versus his own defense in their stadium, and he had I think it was like 4 for 20 with 3 interceptions. He looked god awful.
He had one pass that was a complete duck that should have been intercepted. I mean, he was not dropped at all.
Yeah, and just looking at Caleb and the weapons that he has and the offensive line that he has. My big concern is that he's just like a backyard quarterback where he's going to be running around. He wants to just kind of go off script. He doesn't want to, fit the exact details of the offense where you have to time it and you have to get the ball out at certain precise moments. That's where the NFL is at this moment. We're at a time where you have to hit things at every little point, every stop, drop back. You have to hit, and it's not like he's on a team in like last year where he had a really bad offensive line. They have invested heavily in this offensive line. So as of right now, again, these stock downs and stock ups that we talk about are at the moment that we're speaking with what we're gathering with reports. I think Caleb Williams is a stock down.
I 100% agree. This is what, year 3 of Caleb Williams or year 4?
2.
Year 2? Shit, I thought he was at least in year 3.
My guy.
Damn. So yeah, if it's only year 2, I mean, you got to think that he'll bounce back. I mean, usually rookie quarterbacks have decent rookie years and then have a sophomore slump. Caleb Williams is going to be hoping for the opposite of that. And bringing in Ben Johnson is big for them. But man, if he is not big on being schemed and being, told a scheme to go out and do said scheme, and he's more of a backyard quarterback, then he's not going to last very long in the NFL. Then he's probably going to end up on the Baker Mayfield trajectory where he just goes from team to team, or who's the quarterback I'm actually looking for? What's a better
for Caleb?
For Caleb,
Justin
where he
Fields?
could go if he doesn't figure his shit out. Justin Fields, yeah, that's a good one. Also a former Bear. There's a couple, but that's the trajectory that he's heading
towards. Sam Darnold, maybe a good place where
actually Sam Darnold's a good one. But Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield finally figured it out. At least they showed some flashes in their rookie year. I haven't seen it from Caleb yet. So hopefully he gets it together. I'm a big fan of Caleb Williams. I was a big fan coming out of UFC. I thought the Bears drafting him was good for that franchise, but he does not look good right now, and he needs to fix a lot up here and less here, more up here.
And I see a lot of comments in our chat because we've posted multiple videos. Again, we're not trying to hate on the guy. I've been very proactive. I actually had him as a potential, stock up before training camp, just because of, they hired Ben Johnson. They got Loveland in the draft. They improved their offensive line. They have a pretty good defense. But you bring those in. I saw a lot of comments specifically stating how negative they were being about Caleb in the way, like, about his nails. And I get it. It's an easy hit, but, like, it really doesn't matter to me. And I think it shouldn't matter to you if he paints his toes, his nails, or his butt crack. Like,
I don't know if you can paint your butt crack, Mike.
Well,
but
you could.
I mean,
but like, let's hate the guy when he's on the field because he did something that he shouldn't, not because of his personal stuff. It does not matter. Let him be him.
And guys, remember when you're viewing this live, remember look at the YouTube channel name. We're NFL Clickbait Daily. This is clickbait. We're intending to strike a conversation, to strike up fans of other teams. That's what we're doing here. But in all seriousness, Caleb Williams, his stock is way down right now, and I am very concerned. And just like Mike said, I was very big on Caleb Williams coming into the NFL and coming into year 2. But training camp, he has not looked good at all. And that's just the facts. I mean, there's plenty of video out there. He has not looked good.
To move on from stock down, because we are doing some hate, let's do the opposite. Who is stock up? And I have one major one that Chase is going to agree with me, and I think this is going to be such a big addition to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know how you knew I was going there because we didn't discuss it.
Exactly where you're going because we did a video on him earlier.
George Pickens, I am he might potentially come in and change this offense. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, you got Ferguson, you got, I don't know who is running the ball, but they can pass the ball and be successful. Pickens has come in and he is, we got to bring up some highlights from the channel onto this so you guys can see what we're talking about. I'll bring this in next time. We'll have them prepared. But
we're not prepared.
No, I'm not prepared. But he did a one-handed catch where he just kind of ripped it out of the air, and I was like, my God, can this guy come in and be more motivated than any other guy in the league? He gets traded a couple months ago for a bag of chips. He has had a lot of success. He's had some, of course, breakdowns in the locker room and things like that. But in a contract year, you couldn't be put into a better situation where he does not have to be the number one guy. He comes in, he just has to contribute. It's not even a passing team. It's a team that wants to emphasize running the ball with a run-oriented head coach. Like, I don't know how this guy, he may hit, I bet you, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be like, I can't afford you. This dude's going to walk, and he's going to sign for a $30-35 million contract in the offseason, and the Cowboys will get a third-round pick comp back. And, that's how you roll dice. That's how you do things, and you bet on a guy who has high potential. You hit on him, and you let him walk. Let someone else pay him. Dallas, I hate you guys. I'm a 49ers fan, but you guys are doing outstanding with that trade. Congratulations. I'll give you guys a clap.
Yeah, I am super excited for George Pickens. I'm trying to ignore the Micah Parsons drama right now because that's somewhere where we're definitely not doing things well.
Stock down
on that one. But back to George Pickens. I was pretty psyched when we traded for him a couple months ago. Now, do I think he's going to do amazing things? Yes and no. I think there's not limitations, but I think there's going to be a pecking order. I mean, Dak loves Ferguson. Dak loves CeeDee Lamb. So those guys are always going to get the targets first. But once him and Dak get George and Dak get a common camaraderie together, it's going to be scary for other NFL defenses. I do not know if this team will have a top 5 offense, but I think it's safe to say their floor is a top 10 offense this year.
Can they run the ball and can they be successful in the red zone? That's going to be the big question. The defense also, hold on. The defense is the other question. Micah Parsons off this, if he holds out, when he comes back, let's say it gets situated, he comes back right before week 1. The dude's not going to be ready to play. We've seen it with countless players who hold out, and I'm not talking about he can't do it. We've seen it with other players. Nick Bosa, we've seen it. He's held out up until week 1, and dude's takes a couple weeks to kind of get yourself situated in, football shape. It's different being in shape. And these guys are, insane athletes. But I don't think Micah Parsons, if he holds out up until week 1, the Dallas Cowboys defense is a stock down, and they're stock down right now, and they have a lot of issues. You could talk about in the secondary with Diggs. You can have you don't know how the linebacking core is going to look. You have a lot of young pieces. I mean, like every team, everyone's got their issues, but like Dallas Cowboys, your offense is going to have to lead you. You need George Pickens to come in and score early and be successful. You need to figure out your run game. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. It'll play out. There's a lot of young guys, but we'll see how it plays out. But that defense is a big concern, and we'll talk about it later on.
I think the big thing with the run game is you're not going to know if it's Miles Sanders, Javonte, or Jaden Blue. I think each guy has a role to play, and I think the big thing about our run game this year will be Clayton Adams as the new OC and bringing in the not Kent State, was it Kent State? Where it's wherever Cooper Beebe went to Kansas State. The Kansas State offensive line coach that they brought in that worked with Cooper Beebe at Kansas State. I think those are big additions because we saw what the Arizona Cardinals did last year for James Conner behind I think you would agree, you watched a lot of the Cardinals as a Niners fan, a very, very pieced together offensive line, and they were able to move people and they were able to run the ball well. So
they always have injuries on their offensive line too.
And we do right now too. But the fact is, I think you would argue that the Cowboys have way more talent going into this year as long as Guyton and Smith are relatively healthy than the Cardinals ever did last year. I think there's a chance for a big stock up for the Cowboys run game and their offensive line this year. And I don't think
you guys invested a lot in your offensive line the past few years. I mean, you have 3 offensive linemen who have been drafted in 3 consecutive drafts.
This is
or 4 in the first
round since 2022. So yeah, 3 straight.
That means you guys are investing heavily, and you have the highest paid quarterback in the league. You have one of the highest paid receivers in the league. You have a pretty good tight end in Ferguson. It was a down year last year, but Dak was out. Like, you can give the excuse there.
Yeah,
you have a bunch of guys at running back. We'll see how it plays out. It's not like you can't figure it out down the line. If it's not working out, you guys could potentially make a trade. There is one in the Buffalo Bills, which we'll talk about next, who is holding now officially in. That could be in the market for a trade later this year. I mean, it's possible.
But the problem is he's going to want to get paid too. So, I mean,
yeah, but what you tell him is you come here, you trade for him, and you let him, hey, you're going to have to earn it on the field, and we'll talk at the end of the season, or give him a pay bunk. I don't know. You figure it out. You bring him in.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay him? No one's going to pay him Barkley money anyways. He's going to have to hit free agency. Yeah, so
I still think at the end of the day, he's going to want some.
I'm just giving an example.
I get what you're saying. I don't hate the idea. I think they'll give it a few weeks into the season to see who's hitting, who's not. And if nothing's working, then I think at some point you'll have to make some sort of trade, especially if you want to contend this year. And if you want to have a chance of making the playoffs and that's your big bugaboo, you're going to have to make a move. But I think they're fine with what they got right now.
You might see somebody like what's the Bucks running back? Not Bucky, the other guy.
Fucking hell, Rashad
White. Rashad White. I mean, he could come available. He's getting that point where you're gonna have to pay him, and you have a pretty good backup or now your starter in Bucky Irving. So we'll see. But moving on, and I'll let you, Chase. Do you have any stock ups?
Actually, I think I do have one stock up. I think Breece Hall is someone that is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think he looks really fast in training camp right now. He looks like whatever injuries he was dealing with last year, it looks like he's through with those. I know that there's Braylon Allen talk, especially for fantasy. I know there's some talk of the third guy they just drafted either last year or this year. I can't remember when. So they do have a couple guys, but Breece Hall is the Jets' #1 running back, and I think his stock is going through the roof right now.
Yeah, and one thing that they specifically are incorporating, which I don't know why they didn't last year with the old offensive coordinator under Saleh, they didn't really use him in the passing game, and that to me was one of the things that he was one of his best attributes is just catching out of the backfield, having him run routes. I think that could be a lethal part of his game. He may not be the every down backer that he wants to be, but that's okay. There's a big role for him as he's going to probably end up leaving after. He's a free agent after this year, right? This is his fourth year.
I believe so. I believe
Yeah,
either this year or he has a fifth. No, he doesn't have a fifth. Yes, it's last year. Yes,
it's his last year. He was a second round pick. So, and his first year, I think he tore his ACL, if I remember correctly. And then he had 2 seasons who were like his first season. He's yet to rush for 1,000 yards. Let's just put it in perspective. He's not a great rusher. He's just really good at the backfield. He can rush when the opportunity gives you. And I know the Jets have had issues with their offensive line the past year, and then they came in the back-to-back draft offensive tackles. I think we should see, especially with having Justin Fields, as long as he stays healthy, you should have Breece Hall be in a very good position to have a big year and potentially go out and kind of get a good-sized contract. I don't know what it'll be. I don't see him as an all-around back, and that's okay. But when you're trying to get high-end money, right now the running back market is $20 a year. I don't see that for him. I think he's a good $12 million a year. Anything above that, you're like, okay, what are you getting? Like, if you look, and then the only thing is, okay, if he has a big year catching the ball in the backfield, you could then, in theory, say comparable to a receiver. Receiver market is in the 40s. It could be a discount if you see him as that. But that's like Christian McCaffrey. He's a great running the ball. He's great at catching the ball. But the aspect of catching out of the backfield, being able to run routes, can play all 3 positions on the receiving core, the receiving line. I think that's a big asset for a team. And you're getting running backs who can catch out of the backfield at a really big discount. I think that's a big shot. And I know Cooks, like I said, I think it's a tough situation because the Bills aren't in position to pay a running back right now. And I don't, they have Ray Davis and they have some other guys. I don't know if Ray Davis is anything. He is a target for me in fantasy as we are mismatching some conversations here.
I'm about to in a minute too. But
yeah. So, but just to emphasize here, I think there's a lot of stock up and stock down. We will reevaluate these down the line and see where we're at. But I think we're in a good spot. But are we doing fantasy hour right now?
Yeah, I want to really start with Breece Hall too.
Fantasy hour. It's time to get little fantasy and little freaky. All right, we're talking about fantasy football.
Yeah, so I want to start with Breece Hall because his stock is up, not just for the Jets, but for fantasy. He is going to have a big year this year, and where he's getting drafted, he burned me last year. I won the league that I had him in, but he burned me last year. But I would be willing to take a shot at him as at least my running back 2 with the upside to be a running back 1. I think just the fact that the Jets, they got a better quarterback, in my opinion, in Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was the right guy for that team. I think Breece Hall will be great with the dink and dunk that Fields is going to provide. I think he's going to be used as a receiving threat. And I think he's going to start to have some of that burst back. So you're going to start seeing 60, 70-yard touchdown runs from Breece Hall again. And I think Breece Lightning is all the way back.
Will I say he's going to go in and smash the league and be that guy? I don't know. But he, at this moment, is ADP 30 at the 33rd pick, if I don't know how to pronounce that. So that puts him right in a 12-team league. He's at the beginning of round 3, if I can count right. Yeah, beginning of round 3, some about there, beginning or end.
You were going to take him in the first 2 rounds last year, so that's a little bit of a discount. And we'll see if it goes up from here, and it very well might between now and draft season. But
as of right now, it's pretty low. I think that if you're betting on going receiver in the first 2 rounds and then betting on a running back in the 3rd round, he probably has one of the highest upsides of where you're taking him. I mean, the only other guys behind him is Cook, and that's because of the hold in. Kamara, bad offense. Hampton, he's a rookie. Kenneth Walker, always hurt. I am a Hubbard guy, and he's one of the targets for me
The
later on.
The only thing that kills me about Chuba Hubbard real quick is the fact that they brought in Rico Dowdle, and I just don't know how much Rico Dowdle is going to steal from him and how much he might use. I just don't know. I just don't know, and we don't know. But
and I understand it depends on the league.
I will take a chance on Chuba Hubbard this year because I like Chuba Hubbard. He's a good running back.
I think Chuba Hubbard is a guy that I'm willing to target because he's going to be the lead back. He's going to get the goal line carries. He may get some opportunities taking in the passing game for your guy, but that's someone I would bet on later. At least you're getting him at a price where you could potentially get a
I don't know if you can get it. Like, I was getting him people were getting him last year. I don't know that you'll get him there this year. Maybe we'll see. But I was getting him in the 8th, 9th round of some leagues last year. I don't know if you're going to get him that low this year, but in the middle rounds of 7, 8, if he's there and he's my running back, my third running back I'm taking, I'm fine with it.
Stock up Malik Neighbors. I'm putting him above. He's already a first-round pick, but I think I'd probably put him maybe right behind CeeDee Lamb, maybe ahead of CeeDee Lamb, just depending on the situation. I think him and Russell Wilson are a massive fit together. Russell's going to go in and throw some bombs to him. We'll see how it plays out. It looks amazing right now in camp. We'll see how it looks, but I think that's a stock up. Super stock down. Puka Nacua. Super stock down. He is right now going at ADP 8. So that's the 8th pick in the draft. To me, I'm not even touching him maybe the 3rd round. I'm willing to take that chance. And who knows? He's going to fall here as fantasy drafts start to occur because we are so in a position where it's concerning regarding Matthew Stafford. And as long as Matthew Stafford plays out, Puka will fall. Devontae Adams will fall. I think Kyron Williams might be a riser in that situation because they are going to run the ball. And then you could probably look at some of the younger backs as handcuffs that you would want to have in your, in the backfield. So those are, as we talked about in this conversation here, that Matthew Stafford doesn't only just affect him and his team. In the fantasy reality, it affects this team dramatically. Because the step down that Jimmy Garoppolo is, and then I'm not saying they can't produce with it, but they're not going to produce at a higher level with Stafford. And Stafford statistically has gone down, and he's not the same guy as he used to be. And that's understandable, but they're going all in. When you go and sign Devontae Adams, you're going all in.
100%.
At this stage of his career and what you've paid, we'll see. Who knows? We could be totally off. Matthew Stafford might be back week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo might be playing, and he might be able to succeed because this is probably one of the most talented offenses he'll be a part of. But we'll see. Super fade. My super fade is going to be Jared Goff completely. I'm unwilling to take him at all at this point. And I know.
Go ahead, and I'm going to add to it after. Go ahead.
I would rather bet on him as a free agent in fantasy and let someone else take him. He is ADP 91, but I think he's quarterback. Let's see. He's quarterback 9 right now. So he's a QB1, and I'm not willing to. I would rather take Kyler Murray. I would rather take Justin Herbert. I'd rather take Brock Purdy and Dak. I'm saying it now. Dak is a stock up at where he's going. He's behind Caleb Williams, ADP 121. He is basically a QB2 right now in fantasy. That's a steal. And until they figure out that run game situation, I know they're going to try running the ball. I'm not convinced that's going to be successful at this moment until we see it. So I'm betting on Dak, and that's okay.
So I want to go off your Jared Goff stock down. I would even add stock down to the entire Detroit Lions offense because of one thing and one thing only. There is no Ben Johnson this year, and we do not know what the new offensive coordinator is going to bring to this offense. We don't know if he's going to prioritize Sam Laporta. We don't know if he's going to prioritize running the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles. We don't know if he's going to prioritize Amon-Ra St. Brown. We don't know if he's going to prioritize whoever the third string running back or the third string receiver is. We don't know. So for me, the entire Lions offense right now is a stop down. I don't know that there's anyone I'm taking at their current ADP right now. The only one I'd say maybe you could take right now is maybe David Montgomery if you get him late enough, just because he is going to get a lot of work. But other than that, I'm not taking Gibbs as one of the first 4 or 5 running backs off the board. I'm not taking Amon-Ra as one of the first 5, 6 receivers off the board. I'm not taking Laporta as a top 6 tight end off the board. I would prefer Hawkinson, Ferguson, other guys over Laporta right now. And I would not take I'm missing one guy. And I would not take Jared Goff where he's getting drafted. I'd take, like you said, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy. Hell, I would take Cam Ward before I take Jared Goff this year.
I will say this. I would probably take Sam Laporta over Travis Kelce. I am out on Travis Kelce.
That's fair.
Completely.
That's fair.
Well, right now, Sam Laporta is tight end 4 with an ADP of 49. He might be like one of the only players that I would be fine with out of that offense. Maybe Gibbs. I'm okay with Gibbs too, because at some point you're just going to run the ball. And like Jared Goff, there's 2 guys that I can trust him throwing to. Is Sam Laporta. Well, 3 technically. St. Brown is a play. I mean, the thing is, they just have a lot of weapons. The offense coordinator better figure that out. Like, if you mess this up and can't figure out how Jared Goff can, get going with these guys, then you got bigger problems. I don't know. I agree. I would say this, as I brought this up with Jared Goff, it's a stock down, but I want to see how this offense rolls. I'd rather bet on him as a free agent when someone cuts him. And it might struggle. It might look bad the first few weeks. I'll take the chance on him in week 5. I'll take the chance on him later in the year when I have a good matchup. And we'll see how he plays out from there.
Are you talking about Jared Goff?
What was that?
Are you talking about Goff?
Yeah, what I'm saying is I would let someone else bet on him, and then they'll end up cutting him because maybe the first few weeks the offense isn't rolling. I'll let them bet on, and then I'll take him as a free agent.
Yeah, and he honestly might be this year. He might be a guy that, in the end, that you end up playing as a matchup guy, as a streamer. I mean, that might be what he is this year. Maybe he'll be better than that, but
he ain't gonna be. I don't know. Week 1, he'll be QB9.
Yeah, won't be on my team.
Patrick Mahomes, fade or buy? Buy.
I'm buying Patrick Mahomes this year. I think that offense is going to be a little bit more pass heavy this year. I think they tried last year to get Pacheco going. It didn't really work after his injury, and they'll probably try to work him back in. But I don't think you're getting Kareem. I don't think you're getting Kareem Hunt that you got at points last year. So I don't know who they're going to be able to trust running the ball. I think there's going to be a lot of Travis Kelce. I know you said you're down on him. I'm not saying I'm up on him. I'm just saying because of Mahomes, I may be inclined to stack them if I get the right value. We'll see. But for now, I'm in on Patrick Mahomes. I think Xavier Worthy. I think they drafted they have Hollywood Brown and they drafted a guy. And then
Royals? Is it Royals?
Royals. And then they also have Rashee Rice at some point. Who knows? But like I said, I'm more inclined to take Mahomes for fantasy than any of his weapons, just because I'd rather just have the quarterback. So that's where I'm at with
he's QB6 right now. He's ADP 58. I would probably – he's a little – and it's not because I don't believe in Patrick Mahomes. I'm probably just not buying the value of quarterback at that point. It's just not how I draft.
I mean, that's fair.
I would probably bet on the next few weeks when you start hearing little snippets from people about Royal or some of these other guys on the roster, because Rashad Rice at some point probably is going to miss some time first few weeks of the year.
Oh yeah, it's almost a guarantee he's going to miss at least 6 weeks.
Is it? And here's the questions that I push out: who is Xavier Worthy in the NFL? Is he a one-trick pony where you're kind of just taking deep shots, or can he actually incorporate something into the offense other than just be a one-trick pony that he was last year? That I thought I was really high on Worthy, and he did not present that instant like success that I expected him to have. So I'm concerned with Worthy, but I am willing to bet on somebody in that offense to take some targets in that receiving.
Hollywood.
Isn't he hurt already?
I don't know, but that's who I'm taking a shot on if I'm taking a shot.
I don't know. So some late things that I want to discuss and some things I've been researching is more so on strategy. And it really depends on your league. So if you want to know more about the strategy that we are developing and or researching on our end, we will have that with you, and we will discuss it here on the Fantasy Clickbait Daily, because that's apparently what we're talking about. And we're talking about it in a very sensual way.
Hey, that's going to be our sister channel at some point. It's going to be NFL Fantasy Clickbait Daily. We already got sister channels coming, boys and girls.
So if you know me, you know I'm all in on that AI world, on that chat GPT. And so what we're doing is trying to incubate a great strategy that is not only developed by them, but like broken down and analyzed on our end. We want to make sure that what we are providing you is the top-notch information that you can go in and be successful in 2025 in fantasy football. So what you may be seeing is very much a lot of shorts that are related toward fantasy football. You may see some strategy. You may see some duds that we're going to put out. And what I mean by duds is like sell, like take them off your board. That's the type of content you will get here, because we are going to have fun here. We're not here to make money. We're here to get views.
No, we're here for the people, man. At the end of the day, that's what we want to be as a channel. Is we want to be here for the people. We want to be a channel for the people, by the people. We want to be for the thinking fan. That's what we want to be. We want everybody to be able to bounce ideas. That's what we want.
Do you know your hat is backwards?
You're not the first person to say that.
As we wrap up the show, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. Watch our shorts, comment. We love comments. We are very much, we respond to it. If you watch this entire point to the end of this video, you are an MVP. And if you want to be a NFL Clickbait Daily MVP member, we have not created that because we haven't unlocked it on YouTube. But if we ever do, you could potentially
be one. Yeah, you could eventually be one.
I'll just say this. We've started this channel not too long ago, and I feel like we are rapidly growing. We are getting a lot of views. We may not be getting views in our long form content yet, but we are definitely getting it in our shorts, which we are excited about. But if you want to join and have a conversation, we don't mind. It would be fun. But Chase, is there any last words as we wrap up?
Like NFL Clickbait Daily. Subscribe to NFL Clickbait Daily. I'm Chase. That's Mike. Have a good one.